What's that? It starts at what, 7:30?
I was gonna time it for right around 7.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already registered, so it's just a matter of signing your name tag and whatever stuff they're gonna hand you.
There you go. That's better.
Give me 30 seconds.
We got it planned.
Ryan reached out to me last week.
Yeah, I bet.
Go.
We are being recorded.
Right?
Yeah, about her. So I sent Ryan town map, GIS map, a little brief explanation, but this is what he's gotta do. He's asking us what the drainage area is. I said, "No, you tell me." Figure it out.
I'd like to call the meeting in order. Dan, roll call, please.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Here.
Councilmember Dickman?
Here.
Councilmember Leary?
Here.
Councilmember Mazer?
Here.
Supervisor Rufino?
Here, our pledge and invocation will be by Councilmember Mazer. Please remain standing.
This is in lieu of the ongoing tragedy in the country of Ukraine. God of hope, inspire leaders to choose peace instead of violence and to seek reconciliation with enemies. Inspire compassion in the world for the Ukrainian people and all those who have been touched by war. Give us hope for a future based on justice for all. Amen.
Amen. Tonight's meeting, we will have 17 of the 21 pre-filed resolutions. Number 14, 15, 17, and 21 are tabled. We also have 2 suspended. One is have to do with a cookie drive at the youth bureau to support the children of the Ukraine, and the second one will be for batteries for our 911 system. We have no public hearings. We have 2 executive sessions, one under number 8, collective bargaining negotiations, and one is under number 2, employment. We'll be closing in memory of 2 people, Michael J. Curran, former Town of Lancaster Police Department lieutenant, who retired in 2003 after 31 years of service to the community, and also Barbara Alberti, who was the former mayor of Depew. And with that, I will open up the meeting to anybody that'd like to address us on the 17 pre-filed resolutions that are going to be sponsored and the 2 suspended. I'll ask again. And for a third time. Okay. Any official reports? Town board committees?
I'm going to say, so the light is up across from Delta Sonic. Electric is run. New York State DOT asked that we put up temporary boards showing the public that, you know, there is a light there and flashing yellow for about 2 weeks, just to get everyone familiar that there will be now a stoplight that they have to adhere to.
And we have a proclamation from the town board to the Rotary Club, which is celebrating a big anniversary. And I'm calling upon Diane Terranova to read that at this point. Diane is the president of the Rotary Club.
Thank you. Whereas the Rotary was organized on February 23, 1905 in Chicago by a young attorney, Paul Harris, and the Rotary Club of Lancaster Depew was granted a charter on February 10, 1922. And whereas Paul Harris gathered a group of men, each of who was engaged in a different form of service to the public and a spirit of friendship and understanding that has led to the Lancaster Depew Rotary Club celebrating their 100th anniversary. And whereas the Lancaster Depew Rotary Club has served the public in many ways, which include the sponsorship of the Orphan Boy Scouts Troop number 55, support of the area high school athletes through banquets, student loan fund, collected pennies in the penny jug and provided milk to underprivileged children, started a Hot Meals program now known as Meals on Wheels, and the Scholarship Fund, which is still a main project of the club. And whereas all of these accomplishments were made by a club that has enjoyed countless dinner meetings together, has sang and enjoyed telling jokes together, have attended conferences, trainings, and concerts together, and has continued to meet the challenges along the way. And whereas the club undertook one of its larger projects when it decided to decorate our downtown business area for Christmas, and continues to store, repair, and upgrade the decorations for all to enjoy. Now therefore, Ronald Ruffino, Supervisor of the Town of Lancaster, hereby proclaims that today, Thursday, March 24th, 2022, as Lancaster Depew Club, Rotary Club Day in the Town of Lancaster, and urges all his fellow citizens to support the important objectives of the Rotary Club today and throughout the world. Thank you very much for the town board for this proclamation. It's really quite an enormous feat that a local club can stay in service to their community for 100 years, and even better that now they allow women in. So we're very happy, and we do many service projects in the area. So thank you very much.
I can't stress the importance of organizations like this enough in our community, in the way the world is, and so on, and to have people generously donating their time and efforts to make our community better, and again, thank you for all the members that do put their time and effort into this organization, as well as all the others. Again, it makes us a stronger knit community, and it does keep us moving in the right direction. Thank you. One thing I'll report on is myself, along with a lot of the other elected officials from other, our congressman, our legislator, or assembly person, other supervisors in the area. I wrote a letter to try to get us some traction on getting an entrance exit at Dunville Road to help with our traffic situation. And it would not only just help us, it would help others as well. But as you know, we have the Tops Warehouse right there. There's Amazon on Walden Avenue. So to have something like this would basically keep these trucks off of our roads. We did do our truck route, which was successful. That was a great giant step in the right direction. But now we could assist even more by getting some of these trucks off of our truck routes, in our state roads that are going through Lancaster, to keep them on the thruway a little longer. So we did get I'm looking at the email that I received the other day from the GBNRTC accepting the request, and they are going to conduct a study. There is a warning that this, it's an analysis, is only the first step in an extensive process. So it has some traction. Let's hopefully it continues to run. There is a warning in there also about the funding. It's a largely very expensive project, and funding is always going to be the issue for something like this. But having our name in the ring, you never know, funding can become available, and having our name in there, our project in there and ready to go. When that funding, if it does become available, it'd be great for them to throw it our way. So, anything else from anybody? Okay, then I think we could move on to our resolutions. I'd like to move verse number 1. And this resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held on March 7, 2022, being hereby approved. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Ruffino?
Yes. I'd like to move verse number 2, and this is out the following audit claims. Being hereby ordered paid from their respective accounts as per abstract to be filed in the office of the town clerk by the assistant to the supervisor. It's check run number 03212022. The total amount is $392,986.79. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Councilmember Mazur, number 3, please.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board, I offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. Be it resolved that the following building permit applications being hereby reaffirmed. There was a total of 41 total permits, 6 in the village, 35 in the town, 6 fences, 7 roofs, 2 generators, 4 single dwellings, 3 residential alterations, 1 pole barn, 5 sheds, 1 sign, 3 commercial additions, 1 new commercial building, 2 floodplain permits, and that was all in the town. In the village, there was 6, like I said, 1 roof, 3 fences, 1 dumpster, and 1 residential alteration. There's also 18 complaints to the building department in the town, varies in working without permits, to drainage issues, to property maintenance. Be it further resolved that the building department applications here included CSW for a conditional sidewalk waiver, being hereby reaffirmed with a waiver of the town ordinance required for sidewalks. However, the waiver is granted upon the express condition that the town of Lancaster at a future date reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the expense of the property owner.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. I'd like to move resolution number 4, and this resolved the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants the Lancaster Town Band permission to use the Youth Bureau's band shell located at 100 Oxford Avenue for their 2022 Summer Concert Series on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., running from June 14, 2022 through August 9, 2022. They also have a rain date of August 16, 2022, if needed. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Councilmember Burkhart, number 5, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and honorable town board members. I'm offering the following resolution for adoption. Whereas Twin District Volunteer Fire Company Incorporated, by letter received March 7th, 2022, has requested the addition of the following member to the roster of said fire association. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby confirms the addition to the membership of the Twin District Volunteer Fire Company, the following individual: Brian Knotzbich.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Councilmember Mazur, you have number 6 and 7.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board, I offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas Nick Halliday of ESG Properties of West New York LLC has submitted an application for a special use permit to allow for the operation of a NISDAQ registered soil recycling facility on the premises located at 6125 Genesee Street in the town of Lancaster in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 400 zoning, Article 4, residential districts, subsection 400-13, agricultural residential districts, B1P of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, and whereas Chapter 400 zoning, Article 14, administration and enforcement, subsection 400-78, special use permits of the Town Code, Town of Lancaster requires that the Town Board conduct a public hearing for the issuance of a special use permit for the use proposed. Now therefore, it be resolved that pursuant to subsection 400-78 special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, public hearing on the proposed special use permit for ESG Properties of West New York LLC to operate a NISDAQ registered soil recycling facility premises located at 6125 Genesee Street in the town of Lancaster will be held at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, on the 4th day of April, 2022, at 7:15 p.m. local time, and that notice of the time and place of such hearing be published in the Lancaster Bee, a newspaper of general circulation in the town, and be posted on the town bulletin board, and that a copy of such notice of the hearing be referred to the Erie County Department of Planning pursuant to Section 239M, the General Municipal Law, which notice shall be in the form attached hereto and made part thereof.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board, I offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas on March 7th, 2022, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster had heretofore held a public hearing pursuant to Chapter 400 zoning, Article 9, communication towers, Section 400-48 procedure, the Code of the Town of Lancaster upon application of Ursula Davis on behalf of Dish Wireless LLC for a special use permit for telecommunications tower, co-location of antennas, ancillary equipment, and ground equipment for a new carrier to be placed on the current tower located at 5051 Transit Road, Hayes Avenue, which will be identified as Dish Wireless LLC, site ID SYS-YR00184A in the Town of Lancaster, New York, and whereas persons for and against such special use permit have had an opportunity to be heard, and whereas the town, acting as lead agency under the Seeker Act, has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern and determined the action to be a Type 2 action under Seeker. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 400 zoning, Article 9, communication towers, Section 400-43, co-locating antennas of the Town Code of the Town of Lancaster, the Lancaster Town Board does hereby approve a special use permit for Ursula Davis on behalf of Dish Wireless LLC for a telecommunications tower co-location of antennas, ancillary equipment, and ground equipment for a new carrier to be placed on the current tower located at 5051 Transit Road, which will be identified as Dish Wireless LLC, site ID SYS-YR00184A in the Town of Lancaster, New York, subject to the applicable terms and conditions set forth in Article 9, Communications Towers, Section 400-78 Special Use Permit, with the following condition. There's one, a copy of the FCC license must be on file with the town clerk pursuant to Section 400-46A9.
May I have a second
Second.
on the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino.
Yes. I'd like to move resolution number 8, and this resolve the Town Board of Town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute on behalf of the Town of Lancaster the memorandum of agreement between the town and the Hull House Foundation in order to provide financial assistance for the support of the historical edifice located within the town in the amount of $3,000 as appropriated in the Town of Lancaster's 2022 adopted budget through other culture and recreation contractual expenses. May I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino.
Yes. Councilmember Mazer, you have number 9.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board, I offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas Isaac Barnhill, licensing coordinator for 7-Eleven Incorporated, has submitted an application for a special use permit to operate a convenience store with gas station and car wash on premises located at 4949 Transit Road in the Town of Lancaster, New York, in accordance with provisions of Chapter 400 zoning, Section 18B1AF of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, and whereas Section 400-78 of the zoning chapter of the Town Code of the Town of Lancaster requires that the Town Board conduct a public hearing before the issuance of a special use permit for use as proposed. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 400-zoning, Article 14, Administration and Enforcement, Section 78, Special Use Permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, a public hearing on the proposed special use permit for Isaac Barnhill, licensing coordinator for 7-Eleven Incorporated, to operate a convenience store with gas station and car wash on the premises at 4949 Transit Road in the Town of Lancaster, New York, will be held at the Lancaster Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, on the 4th day of April 2022 at 7:15 p.m. local time, and that the notice of the time and place of such hearing be published in the Lancaster Bee, a newspaper of general circulation in said town, and be posted on the town bulletin board, and that a copy of such notice of hearing be referred to the Erie County Department of Planning pursuant to Section 239M, the general municipal law, which notice shall be in form attached hereto and made part hereof.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino.
Yes. I'd like to move resolution number 10, whereas Western New York has been devastated by invasive species, particularly the emerald ash borer, EAB, and whereas the EAB is an invasive beetle whose larvae feed on the living tissue of ash trees, of which comprise 1 in 14 of all trees in New York State, Whereas this has caused all of New York State to be labeled as part of EAB severe risk according to New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Whereas currently there is no program that specifically assists municipalities seeking retree municipal parks that have been devastated by invasive species. Whereas the town has reached out to Assemblymember Wallace's office in the past regarding the securing of state funding to retree parts of the town that have been devastated by ash tree removal, demonstrating its need and desire to replenish its lost forestry. And whereas while removing ash trees is a necessary step in combating EAB invasion from the town, now wishes to support the next critical step to retree where it has been devastated by such invasions. Now therefore be it resolved that this town board hereby goes on record in support of Assemblymember Monica Wallace's request of the 2022-2023 New York State Assembly to include in its budget an allocation of $1 million to create a grant program for municipalities such as the town of Lancaster to retree public lands impacted by invasive species. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Mary Beth, is it both positions here, recreation attendant and van driver?
Yes, it's one person and two seconds.
Gotcha, okay, so, I'd like to move resolution number 11, and it resolves that the following individuals hereby appointed to the following part-time permanent positions in the town of Lancaster Senior Center, working not more than 19 3/4 hours per week, and that this is being a part-time position provides no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time employees. The person's name is Kathy Brunner. She's from Lancaster, New York, and she will be doing split duties of a recreation attendant and van driver at $15 per hour, and the effective date is March 22nd. Be it further resolved, the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. This resolution number 12 was moved over to Councilmember Leary.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Supervisor, before I read the resolution, I'd like to read the letter that came on that led to the resolution for a donation from the Tadaro family. Dear Councilman Leary, as you are aware, our community experienced a tragic accident on the night of March 2nd that claimed the lives of 2 young Lancaster residents and sent a third to the hospital in critical condition. Sadly, this loss is very close to home for my family, particularly my daughter, who was very close friends with the 2 girls. As a father, I can't help but think it easily could have been my daughter. I understand the grief their family and friends are going through, and I was hoping to do something to help. We all know that in times like these, thoughts, prayers, and condolences can be comforting, but they are ultimately inadequate in providing a path forward through grief. My daughter and her friends remain in shock at the untimely loss of their 2 dear friends, and they have been discussing ideas for how they can honor their memories in a way that will provide them many opportunities in the future to reflect upon the wonderful people and friends that they were. My daughter and her friends would like to plant a tree at the site of the accident to replace the one that was damaged. Planting a new tree together will provide a wonderful moment for the girls' friends to come together to remember their lives and honor their memory now and for many years to come. The tree will need to be planted in the town's right-of-way at 208 Warren Road. My family would like to personally donate the tree to the town so that the friends of the victims can be involved in planting it as a way to help them overcome their grief while creating a lasting tribute to their friends. I am asking that the town board approve the acceptance of my donation. Sincerely, Frank J. Tadaro and family. Now, Mr. Supervisor and honorable town board members, I move the following resolution for adoption. Whereas by letter dated March 15th, 2022, Parks Crew Chief Michelle Barbaro has requested that the town accept a donation from Frank J. Tadaro and his family of a Crimson King maple tree with a value of not more than $200 to be planted in the town of Lancaster's right-of-way adjacent to 206 Warren Road to honor the victims of the tragic vehicle accident that occurred at this location on March 2nd, 2022. And whereas the Tadaro family will be purchasing the tree, and the Town of Lancaster Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department staff will be planting the tree, so no additional cost will be incurred by the town. And whereas after due consideration, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has determined that it is in the interest of the community to accept this benevolent donation, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby accepts the donation from Frank J. Tadaro and his family of a Crimson King maple tree with a value of not more than $200 to be planted in the Town of Lancaster's right-of-way adjacent to 206 Warner Road to honor the victims of the tragic vehicle accident which occurred at this location on March 2nd, 2022, and be it further resolved that upon presentation and inspection of the Crimson King maple tree, the park crew chief determines it to be unacceptable, the town reserved its right to refuse the donation.
May I have a second
Second.
on the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes, I know legislator Tadaro is in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable body, thank you very much.
Appreciate the donation, sir. Thank you. And your family, thank you.
And then number 13 is Councilmember Mazer.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board, I offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas by letter dated March 9th, 2022, Michelle Barbaro, the Deputy Highway Superintendent for the Town of Lancaster, has requested the Town Board approve transferring ownership of a 2013 Kubota four-wheel drive utility vehicle with approximately 111 hours on it from the Lancaster Police Department to the Parks and Recreation Department. And whereas Lancaster Police Patrol Captain, Marco Lorenzo, has confirmed that the police department no longer has need for this vehicle, and whereas the Parks Department will compensate the police department $8,800 for the 2013 Kubota four-wheel drive utility vehicle with funds received from Auctions International. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves of the transfer of ownership of the 2013 Kubota four-wheel drive utility vehicle with 111 hours on it from the Lancaster Police Department to the Parks and Rec Department, and be it further resolved in consideration for the vehicle conveyance, the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry will deposit $8,800 for a check received from Auctions International to the Police Sale of Equipment Fund, number 552665.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Number 14 and 15 are being tabled, so I'd like to move resolution number 16. And this resolved in a bond resolution dated March 21st, 2022, in the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, Erie County, authorizing a capital improvement project consisting of the replacement and/or reconstruction of various culverts in the town, primarily in the vicinity of Simi Road, at an estimated maximum cost of $525,000, and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $525,000 pursuant to the local finance law to the finance such purpose, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Okay, number 17, we are tabling that one also. So I'd like to move resolution number 18. And number 18, I gotta get to it here, give me a second. Okay, this resolves that it be it ordered that a meeting of the Town Board of Town of Lancaster will be held at Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, on April 4th, 2022, at 7:15 o'clock, or shortly thereafter, to consider said increase in improvements of facilities of the district, and to hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same for such other action on the part of the Town Board with relation thereto may be required. Be it further resolved, be it further ordered that the expense of said increase of improvements of the facilities shall be financed by the issuance of serial bonds of the town in aggregate principal amount not to exceed $3,035,000. Said amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and unless paid from other sources or charges, the cost of said increase and improvements of facilities shall be paid by the assessment, levy, and collection of special assessments from the several lots and parcels of land within the district, which the town board shall determine and specify to be especially benefited thereby, so much upon and from each as shall be in just proportion to the amount of benefit conferred upon the same, to pay the principal of the set of an interest of said bonds as the same shall become due and payable except as provided by law. And be it further ordered that the town clerk publish at least once in each newspaper designated as the official newspaper of the town for such publications and post on the signboard of the town maintained pursuant to subdivision 6 of section 30 of the town law, a copy of this order certified by said town clerk, the first publication thereof, said posting to be not less than 10 nor more than 20 days before the date of such public hearing. May I get a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Okay, I'd like to move resolution number 19. Be it resolved that a bond resolution dated March 21st, 2022, of the Town of Board of the Town of Lancaster, Erie County, authorizing a capital improvement project consisting of the reconstruction of and construction of improvements to the town's public safety building at an estimated maximum cost of $300,000, and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $300,000 pursuant to the local finance law to finance such purpose, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. I'd like to move resolution number 20, and this resolved the bond resolution dated March 21st, 2022, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, authorizing a capital improvement project consisting of various drainage improvements in the town at an estimated maximum cost of $210,000, and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $210,000 pursuant to the local finance law to finance such purpose, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and delegating the power to issue the bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes, and we are tabling number 21 as well. So at this point, which are suspended, may request suspension of necessary rules by a council member?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Okay, with that, I'd like to move resolution number 22. This is out the Town Board of Town of Lancaster hereby grants Lisa Granhart Mullen, Honor Society Advisor, on behalf of Lancaster Central School District National Honor Society, permission to use the Youth Bureau's grounds located at 200 Oxford Avenue to hold a cookie sale to benefit the Save the Children of the Ukraine on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. May I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Councilmember Burkhart, you have number 23.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and honorable town board members. I'm offering the following resolution for adoption. Whereas the backup batteries for the current Emerson 911 system are required to be replaced every 5 years, and now is the time for the town to have new replacement batteries purchased and installed for the public safety building's 911 system. And whereas Michelle Barbaro has contacted Vertiv Corporation to solicit a price for the replacement of the town's Emerson 911 system batteries, and whereas by letter dated March 15th, 2022, Michelle Barbaro has requested that the town of Lancaster authorize Vertiv Corporation to provide and install new Emerson 911 system batteries at a cost of $6,929.90 per their proposed date, December 13th, 2021. Order number CPQ 192222-1. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby accepts and authorizes the supervisor of the Town of Lancaster to execute the proposal for the purchase and installation of new batteries for the Town of Lancaster's Public Safety Buildings 911 system from Vertiv Corporation, P.O. Box 70474, Chicago, Illinois, in accordance with the proposal date of December 13th, 2021, for an amount not to exceed $6,929.90, and to be paid for with funds from the town's 2022 Buildings, Equipment, and Other Capital Outlay Budget, line item 001-1620-0260.
May I have a second
Second.
on the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur.
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to our communications. Good to go?
Thank you.
161 is Planning Committee, 162 is Town Attorney, 163 is for resolution, 164 is resolution tonight, 165 through 168 received and filed. So 169 was for resolution, but we had it suspended, so that was resolutions, right? 170 is received and filed. 171 is Planning Committee. 172 and 173 received and filed. 174 and is for resolution. 175 for resolution. 176 for resolution. 177 and 178 Planning Committee. 179 and 180 are received and filed. 181 Planning Committee. 182 is for resolution. 183 received and filed. 184 is for resolution. 185 is Planning Committee. 186 is resolution tonight. 187 through 189 received and filed. And 190 is for resolution. 191, resolution tonight.
190 should be suspended.
What was that?
190 was suspended tonight.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay, 190 actually is suspended. Yeah, it was suspended, that was the other one I was looking for. Gotcha, thanks. So that was a resolution suspended tonight. 192 received and filed. 193 through 195 Planning Committee. 196 for resolution. 197 resolution tonight. And 198 is for resolution. At this point, we'll allow anybody in the audience like to speak or comment on any subject matter. Just please come up to the mic and state your name and address. I'll recognize any hands. Anybody like to speak?
Hi, my name is Kelly Hartwig. I live at 21 America Court. I've been there for almost 15 years. I just wanted to attend my first meeting to make a request of the town to potentially put a park in the southern part of Lancaster. My community, in addition to the Enchanted Forest community, all the way out to Bowen, really don't have a park that our children can get to in a safe manner. The closest park we have is Como Park, which is not a state town park. And you have to travel on either Aurora or Lake with no sidewalks, plus go on to William Street and then cross a street, which is pretty busy for young children to do. So I have sent in a proposal probably back in November or December of last year to Michelle, as well as I've touched base with a couple of the councilmen, and I just wanted to come in and again make the proposal at the meeting to get feedback or find out what other things we can do to make this happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else like to speak? And I'll ask again. Anybody else? And for a third time? Okay, at this point, we will go to, I'll ask for a motion to go into executive session. We have two items. The first one is under number 8, collective bargaining negotiations. The second one will be under number 2, employment. So may I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session?
May I have a second?
Second.
On the roll, please.
Okay. Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes.
Supervisor Rufino?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a wonderful night. Hey, Jim.
Frank Federo, I never met him. I wanted the bond stuff, setting the table for the city to respond.
Did they spell it right? Yeah, they